Lisa France, you directed two episodes of Queen Sugar this past season. And this season, the story was revamped to actually reflect the realities of COVID-19 and the Black Lives Matter movement in 2020. And I understand episodes had to be shot with the actors in pods, so that changed. Like, how big of a creative and logistical challenge was that from a directing standpoint, especially coming to the show as a first time series director?
That's a lot of questions in a question. Let's see. Let's start with the fact that I had never directed television before, but I had definitely had heard a lot because my fiance is also a TV director, so I kind of got a little crash course in how it works and the sorts of meetings and I also got to shadow before COVID. So I came out to Queen Sugar in February last year. And so I got to shadow a couple of days and sort of just see how it works and go to some of these different meetings that you don't normally have in film, like tone meetings and concept meetings. And this is just very different sorts of meetings. So I'm learning along the way. And I prepped with Bruce Cole, who was my cinematographer, and our amazing everybody. Everything is amazing. It's so different from independent film, where like, oh, I wish we could put a tree there. They're like, well, we can put a tree there. Oh, I wish we could just put a hole here and shoot through here. Yeah, we can do that. So just getting used to having pretty much anything, right? And it was really exciting. And I was shooting 502, and then COVID hit. And I was 2 days into shooting, and thankfully we had shot all of the really big, meaty things. And then, Ava told us all, sorry, we're going to have to shut down, but we'll probably be back in 2 weeks. And so that didn't really happen. And then I think it was a very, very brave move that Ava decided, which is she wanted to write everything in real time. She wanted to encapsulate what was happening, not just with COVID, but with Black Lives Matter and what happened to George Floyd and Breonna Taylor and what was happening in the government. And I really felt like it was not only brave, it was really weird and scary for all of us on the ground here because we were not getting pages like you normally do. We were getting the pages in pods. So we didn't necessarily always know what was happening because she was trying to write in real time. So everything was literally a day at a time. And then in addition to that, there were only 3 of us directing. She handed over the show to 3 lesbians and said, here, hold it down. We got together. We were like, we got this. So every day something, we as a company, we dealt with everything. We dealt with COVID. We had people on our team get COVID. We had people directly impacted with death from COVID. Obviously, a huge percentage of our family, the Queen Sugar family, is are people of color and Black folks in particular suffering. We noticed very quickly that that there was going to be some emotional trauma for our team. And while it was wildly challenging on a daily basis because of quote COVID, because we really didn't know anything yet. So if someone tested positive for COVID, we'd have to like regroup, and we'd have to get together and say, oh, we can't shoot this because of this, and this person can't be here, and we'd have to hire somebody else. Like it was every day there was a scramble. Also, in addition to the normal things that happen at Queen Sugar, right now, for example, it is storming. Thank God we're not shooting outside. We have storms, we have hurricanes, and weather here impacts the show all the time. And so we had that happen. I don't know if you saw the wedding episode, but I got to tell you, it rained like it was torrential downpour, crazy rain on the second day of our wedding shoot. Poor Lauren. It was so bananas. But you know what? Every single person on the team helped. Everybody jumped in. Everybody was moving water and stuff and cleaning, and we all did, no matter who the department was. And that's one thing about the culture that Ava has created with this program, with this TV show. It's a very family oriented project, and when we lost people, we went through it together. And I feel like it's really imbued in this season. Antonio, who created the look of this show, and Bruce Cole, what they were able to accomplish given the limitations. I mean, it really just shows you when there's something really powerful, like when there's an undercurrent of power. We went through joy together. We lost people together, COVID, racial injustice, all of it in 10 episodes, beautifully photographed, some of the best acting I've ever witnessed and personally directed. I think if you ever want to watch a season of Queen Sugar, not that I don't think you should watch them all, but I think season 5 is pretty miraculous. First of all, that it's complete, and that I think it is an incredible time capsule for what we all went through. One of the things that Kenny said is that I really resonate with is I think we have something for everyone this season. I think that we speak to everyone. If you had someone sick with COVID, with a scare, if you are a Black person or a friend of Black people, and you watched what happened with George Floyd and Breonna Taylor and Ahmaud and all the different, we have a white character who has a daughter on this show, and what she's dealing with trying to be an ally. I just think that the show shows everything. If you tried to have a wedding, we covered so much ground. If you were watching TV, if you were getting crazy because you were inside and you wanted to go out, I just feel like we were able to tackle everything that you could possibly imagine last year.
And one of the great things and unique things about Queen Sugar, just in general, is how Ava DuVernay really puts her money where her mouth is in terms of elevating women filmmakers. Every director on the show has been a woman. Most of them have been first-time TV directors. And you mentioned that family aspect. What does that feel like on the set when you know that this show has done so much actively, and Ava has done so much actively to kind of uplift women in the industry?
It's interesting. I think when you're in the middle of trying to make it, like I've been in this business over 20 years now, and to only now just be finally getting to direct television. But I think God gives you what God gives you when you're ready, right? So, I didn't realize how much my independent filmmaking background would be so useful on the show. And then I'm the producing director this year. So I'm really getting to see we've been joking around and calling it, this is the Ava DuVernay University, because, and she has all of her professors here, I'm one of them. I work as one of them. And every woman that comes on the show is an artist. She handpicks them for a reason. They all come here with a variety. Like I've noticed our directors this year, what a wild array of talents, right? And skills. And then, to come into television and to learn how television works compared to your independent background. And the whole team, everybody that works on this show, they all know that. They all know it. And so everyone's very gentle and very kind. And, women in television traditionally in the past, how could they get in? How did you get in? You couldn't even get in. Well, you'd have to fail somewhere a little bit. You'd have to make some mistakes somewhere, and then someone would have to champion you and make sure that you made it through. Well, that's this space. This space that Ava created is that space. You're allowed to be strong and artistic, but you're also allowed to make mistakes. There will be no epic fails there. There will no epic fails here. It just doesn't happen because of it's okay here. You don't have to be scared. You don't have to wonder, oh my gosh, when am I going to lose the job? That's just not the space. The space is very empowering. It's very loving. It's okay if you ask questions. You know, sometimes you're afraid to ask questions, right? You're afraid to ask questions because you're afraid that that will make it obvious that maybe you're a newcomer. Well, you don't have to worry about that here because we already know that you're a little bit new. You know, there's shadowing programs. Leslie Linka Glatter put together the Female Forward program for much the same reason. You know, Ava did it before anybody. Ava was first. She said, you know what? There was no place for me. I'm going to make a place for more people like me. So now we have a home. We have a place to go. And that doesn't stop here. If you watch all the women that have worked here, we're all moving, you know, it keeps going. You look at Demaine Davis, you look at Kat Candler, you look at Amanda Marcellus. I could go down the list, Lauren Wolkstein, all of the women that have directed this show, majority of them, you know, if they really wanted it, they're still going. Shaz Bennett, I mean, they've gone into writing. They've done this. She created a place for us to not only excel, but to continue and progress and go forward and onward, right? That's a powerful, powerful world that she created, and we're all wildly grateful.
Well, congratulations on the show, and on your work as the producing director this season. And thank you for joining us and talking about it. And we will talk to you again in a few minutes with the rest of our panel.